It's the Trigger Man, Weljon Mindoro. Australia Joel Camellire.
As we take a look at the tail of the tape, both men scaling an identical 74.65 kilograms, slight advantage. So the opening round underway. This is 8 3-minute rounds for the man wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold is the undefeated professional Weljon Mindoro. 14 fights, 1 draw, 13 wins, all of them coming inside the distance. No stranger to fighting outside of the Philippines, because his last 2 contests have been in the United States, where he produced a KO of the Year candidate in July against Tyler Goodjohn, getting him up 4. Spoke to Camellire yesterday. Said that he admires Andre Myers. He said that facing a puncher of this caliber and this repute really didn't hold any fears for him, as he scores with a flick as he lands a looping roundhouse right. And he says that Mindoro frustrated figure, and then he'll start looking for the KO for the man from Melbourne. Since moved to Sydney to manage the Costa Zoo, or excuse me, yeah, the Costa Zoo boxing. He's into that role earlier this year. Right cross, left hook to the body, left hook on the inside, landed by Camellire. Protecting his abdomen with that lead right hand, the left hand wandering around his quad and kneecap. Walks his man back across the ring. Remember, both men scaling an identical 74.65 kilograms. Good use of the feet as darting laterally both left and right is Camellire. Weljon Mindoro seeking to pin him against the ropes, bring him square in there. He did get through the power driving right cross and unloads a couple of punches to the body. Left hook after turning the tables, landed by
20. Mindoro turning and moving. He was nice and busy. He landed a really good right hand to the body, actually, about 40 seconds out from the end of the round, as Mindoro came forward, just dipped his knees and sank it into the ribs as he was coming forward. But then right at the end of the round, Mindoro just managed to get him back onto the ropes and get to work him. That comes with that power. Artur Beterbiev down at ringside, another undisputed champion. You look.
Speaking of power, prior to going the distance with Dmitry Bivol in that battle for the undisputed title at 170, up everything within his shape. His good right hand to the body, followed by a left hook upstairs from Camellire, but then Mindoro backing his man across the ropes with a forward foray, but keeping his composure under fire and answering with a single was Camellire. Mindoro just seeking to end that. Camellire continuing to be, oh, what a beautiful left jab, my goodness, came out on an upward trajectory from out of the line of sight of Mindoro, from around the kneecap, just cracked right into his face to disrupt his forward movement. Beautiful shot with that lead left from Camellire commentary position. Approaching the halfway stage, as the overhand right from Camellire was a speculative shot. Continuing to move effectively laterally, both clockwise and counter. Knockout artist Camellire goes by the nickname of Kama KO. 14 wins of his 29 coming via the short route, remember, and there's that disrupt. Dynamic figure up in the boxing ring as he circumnavigates, his back skimming against the ropes. Turns the tables once more. Mindoro content to accept the clinch to separate the two. Closing seconds of the second round, and again, just even though Mindoro made his man miss and came out of a crouch with a speculative overhand right, the dynamic darting and elusive movement of Camellire just give you the impression that he's controlling the tempo in which this contest is being fought.
He's done a good job so far, particularly in that second round, because he did in the second round what he did in the first, but crucially he 15 or 20 seconds in the second round that he had in the first, where Mindoro got on top of him a little bit. So that kind of wind that was in the sails of Mindoro at the end of the first, he's taken it back out again, and he's done a good job of negating him and using that lead left, that jab well enough to score like he does there. I really like fights like this, because It's quite a simple formula, isn't it? You've got one fighter in Camellire, as we said in an earlier fight, shoulders, forearms, whatever, just make sure you start landing.
Well, Mindoro out aggressively and letting a fusillade of punches go, and a couple of the body shots did get through, followed by a flashing right uppercut. Pinned in his own corner is Camellire, keen to try and fashion a clinch, but then just, oh, beautiful two-shot salvo to the body from Mingnam fall. Will the curse of the puncher befall Weljon Mindoro tonight? Still early days, of course, in this battle for the Asian Continental title at 75 kilograms, but oftentimes it is still there. Well, sometimes the puncher's instinct can be to just dig away harder. And even though they say they're prepared to go the distance, and no doubt physically they are, can sometimes play tricks in the mind of the expert finisher. That is what the trigger man has proven to be during his professional career to this point, having made his debut in 2019. But Camellire, with a cuffing right hand and then tying his man up to waltz him back to the space of center ring, is boxing a clever physical contest. Left-right combination not too far away from Mindoro, but Camellire tucking up behind his shoulder. Andy and I were observing him work out at the Rocky Road Gym as a flashing left-right combination catches the advancing Mindoro from Camellire. He's possessed of that timing that just produces a distinctive sound. Overhand left was a barroom brawl of a blow from Mindoro. Couldn't quite find a range as he walked his man down, but Camellire landing with the inside of the glove, and then an altogether cleaner right hand, and another one from Camellire, followed by a left hook, boxing beautifully off the ropes as Mindoro tries to respond with a right up by Camellire, who is just neutralizing the bombs that are housed in the boxing gloves of the left and right fists of Mindoro. Terrific work by Camellire to smother the man from the Philippines. No KO.
It was, but I would sound a note of caution there. You don't want to really mix it up too much with this guy if you don't have to. He's boxed really well so far, his confidence will be high. Maybe he's felt the power from Mindoro and thought to himself, you know what, it's not all that. These 13 people you've knocked out, they're not me. I've been on the end of this, and I don't think fight this kind of fight,
take pictures with you, but
which is what he was threatening to do towards the end of that round. That's not to say that he can't win that kind of.
Camellire, no stranger to going the 10-rounder of boxing. As for Mindoro, who bulldozed his man back to the ropes and lands with a right cross. Clever boxing out of the corner from Camellire, who's remained responsible. But now he's beginning to be teed off upon by Mindoro. Is this a stoppage? No, it's a standing count. So, referee Valery Pastuhov stepping in with a standing count after hooks and uppercuts began to crash home against Camellire. Oh, that's a beautiful right hand on the resumption, but now Mindoro has got his man going and he's seeking to demonstrate that he is a precise and merciless finisher once again. It's an awful long time to negotiate. Beautiful left hook, but then a right hand in response from Camellire. But Mindoro really is finding the range on his punches now and wearing all of them flush is Camellire. He's endured a torrid minute and 10 seconds so far. He's taken a standing count. Back into the breach steps Mindoro. Senses that he's got his man going. He's wrestled him down to the canvas. That gives him some brief respite. The referee wipes the gloves clean and he's walked onto a shot, which was an uppercut, which sends Camellire to the canvas to take the second count of the round. There's still a minute and a half to go in round number 4, and against a finisher like Mindoro, that could well be a long 90 seconds. Camellire on the ropes above our commentary position, bobbing and weaving, trying to hold off, but he's taken a right uppercut, and the towel has come in from Dino Billinghurst in the corner of the Australian Joel Camellire, stopping this contest early, and exuberant celebrations in acknowledgement of another inside the distance victory for Weljon Mindoro. He got his man going at the start of that round, and once he sensed he was going, well, he was relentless. But he deserves immense credit, because over the course of the first 4 rounds, he boxed very well indeed. Often the case when sharing a ring with a puncher, you've got to remain switched on for every moment that they remain upright.
You absolutely do, and We were wondering, weren't we, in between rounds, whether at the end of the third round there was a danger sign there because he was starting to fight Mindoro's fight more, and was that because he was confident, was that because his feet were slowing down? And then right at the start of the fourth he got involved straight away in the kind of fight that really he didn't want to be in. The referee seemed to give a standing count the first time around, which he shouldn't have done, because there are no standing counts in professional boxing. You can judge that the ropes have kept the fighter up, but that wasn't really the case, I don't think. So that actually bought him a bit of time, but there was just no getting off the hook, was there? Because Mindoro was all over him like a rash. I think it was an uppercut that he walked onto in the end, and there was a long time left in the round. The towel came in from the corner. I don't think the referee